where like-minded people can come together, share ideas in a safe environment, and learn from one another and edify one another. Please bless our businesses, Lord, that we may grow and that we may help others. We ask all these things in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Well, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, Todd Black. And I met Todd through Truvy. I think we ranked up close to the same time. And I'm a 1 star, and Todd's chasing 2 and 3 stars right now. He's just exploded his business. He's a full-time pastor at Turning Point Baptist Church. And is it Spartanburg, Todd?
Yes.
South Carolina?
South Carolina. Yes.
Okay. And I'll turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, I'm honored to be here, of course, tonight, just to share a little bit about my testimony with Truvy, and maybe another little testimony that I have to share with you, just a little bit what happened to me back in the spring. I was diagnosed with COVID-19, and I was put in the hospital and I almost died. I've come a long way since then. It took about 3 months to come through it. And, but by the grace and hand of God, I did make it through it. I was 1 step from being on a ventilator. And that was the miracle of the year, definitely in my life. But it was all, I give God all the credit. It was nothing that I'd done, but I was unhealthy. I was actually in Kentucky doing a revival in July when I began to just feel physically bad again. Nothing really bouncing back on the COVID, but those COVID pounds had kicked in, and I just wasn't healthy. I was healthy spiritually, but I wasn't healthy physically. And I made up my mind to try Truvy. A good pastor friend of mine's daughter was selling it, and I seen results in 2 days. I lost 6 pounds in 2 days. I lost 10 pounds my first week. And then in 30 days, I had lost over 20 pounds. And now I'm working toward the 40-pound mark. And so it's been an amazing journey with the supplements. I feel so much better with them. That's just not a sales pitch. That's just the truth that I'm giving you tonight. And I started, when I seen those results from the get-go, and people started asking me about the questions about what I was doing, that opened the door for me to do this. Being a full-time pastor, and I do a lot of meetings in other states, and I just normally don't have a whole lot of time to do anything like this. But I did because of the situation, because of the COVID shutdowns, and it minimizes what I can do. But you can only prepare and write and pray so much. There's got to be some type of a release in there somewhere, and this is what's become my release. But basically, on the business side, we need to have vision. We need to have vision. And I guess when I say vision, it takes me back to my church roots and my pastoral roots. Well, without vision, you're going to perish. You've got to know where you're going. You have to know how you're going to get there. You have to believe in yourself. And as a pastor, I genuinely care for people. And I try to care for not only my flock, but also my customers that need help. I always say, hey, spiritual first, physical second. And that's the way it should be. I post a minimum of 2 times a day, sometimes 3, sometimes 4 times a day. I always follow up. I know a lot of our associates start out with selling the trial packs and they move up from there. I've been one that's never started from that point. I've always started in the middle of the road with the combos or with the belly blaster, as we call it, the must-haves. I figure I can always, in sales, you can always walk them down, but it's hard to walk them up. And so I try to keep that in mind. And actually, in my first message to them, I'm recommending the Truvy combo. That's what I've been using, and I've used the H&H. I've used the Renew. All the products are great. Started on the probiotics just this week, and I can tell a great deal of difference in that and stomach health. So that was good as well. I always try to be honest with people. I try to give back. I try to help people when I can. And training is a key to this whole success of this thing, because I've never done any type of marketing. I've never done any network marketing. I've never marketed products. I've never marketed anything other than the church. And that's a whole lot different than you're asking people to buy or purchase something from you. The first thing that I recommend to people on the sales side that are going to sell is you've got to have product education. You have to know what these products are, what's in these products, what these products do. And of course, you need to try them just like I tried them. You need to do all the reading in the back office. That's great material back there on every product. There's pictures, there's sheets telling us what the ingredients are, what the ingredients do, because people are going to ask. And I know that it's not a whole lot of men are doing this as far as the sales part, but there are a lot of men that are on the products. I believe I'm probably about 50-50. And I've got about 4 gentlemen under me that are selling that are doing pretty good. I've even got some men asking about skincare products, if you can believe that. So we're, and I haven't tried any of that stuff. So, I really don't know about it. I usually try to get a testimony on the True Craze page from someone else and try to pass them on the information. But we have to know these products. And like I said, I don't call it luck. I think I was blessed, but I think it was product education and consistency on my part that pushed me to a 1-star in 8 weeks. I had 88 customers my first month, and I was ecstatic. And you kind of get disappointed when it slows down a little bit, if it does. And like I've been told before, and I have learned, it has its ups and its downs. Every week's not going to be a knockout week, but don't give up on people, because they will come back around. And I've received 3 orders last week that I know that I talked with people the last time in August and September. So that's a pretty good long time, but I kept being consistent on my post. I kept putting information out there, and people still see it, and that's going on in their mind. And they're like, hey, I really need to check these supplements out. So basically, when I started, I watched other folks' posts. I know we've all shared posts before and trying to cling ideas, and I love that. I think that's great. We have to get familiar with the back office and what that belly blaster means, because when you make that post, hey, has everyone got the link to the belly blaster? They're going to like, what is the belly blaster? I've been on that site and I haven't seen anything that's called belly blaster. That's a perfect time to send them that direct link that puts it right in their shopping cart. We have to know the answers about, the protein and the water that you need to take in. So far, I have had very, very few complaints. And I believe that's because I've instructed them and offered to be their personal coach through it all. No charge at all for me to help them. I just like helping people, and it can be very rewarding on the financial side as well. But I recommend that everyone that are on these products, that they drink water, get off the soft drinks, the sweet tea, get rid of it. Anything sweet like that, get rid of it. And I used to be addicted to Diet Cokes, Diet Dr. Peppers. I mean, 3 to 4 or 5 a day was no issue. That's what I would, drink. But since I've been on these products, and after I was on them for just a couple of months, I went to nothing but water, and I have no more cravings for that. And I tell people that they should drink half their body weight in ounces of water up to 100 ounces. That's what I tell people. I probably drink about 130 ounces. I've got this big jug here. There was a gallon in it, 128 ounces. And I'm right here. I'm almost done. But I've also had me a True Fix drink earlier today too, which was another glass full. And I had a glass full for lunch. So I'm way over my water limit, but it does you good, does your skin good, does your organs good. It begins to push out all the impurities that are in your body. And also the protein intake. If you take the Truvy, you really need to eat. You need to eat your protein in the mornings with your breakfast. Now, I've had some people come back and say, Preacher, you know, my stomach just don't feel too good when I take my supplements in the morning. And I'll ask them what they ate. And they say, well, I ate a boiled egg. Well, a boiled egg's not enough. Eat you 2 boiled eggs and get you some bacon or sausage with that, or some ham or something, and then try to lay off the bread, you know. And of course, I believe these supplements naturally curb your carb cravings, and they naturally curb your sweet tooth, and as you go on and this gets in your system, you'll begin to see more of that. I always try to follow up with the customers, and one of the follow-ups that I do is introducing the sample packs. That's what I do. If they seem not to be interested, or I don't get much of a response after they look at the Truvy combo, then I'll send them a message like, hey, you know, just drop it in to check on you to make sure you checked out our product, see if you had any questions. And then if I still don't get anything, then I'll use the post where I say, you know, if you just want to try it, if you're still thinking about it, maybe the week's trial pack is for you, the experience pack. And a lot of people come back and purchase that. And of course, you know, we get the same amount of commission on that trial pack as we would a Truvy combo. So that's a pretty good deal that the company offers itself. I do a lot of attraction marketing. I didn't even know what attraction and marketing was in July. And I still don't know a whole lot about it. So I'm trying to do more of that, as Tanya has stressed so many times. That's what she always stresses. And I try to do more of that, but I'm mixing some other things as well. But I have never put out the Truvy name, and I've never put out product pictures as far as any product that would have a name on it. And the reason is I want people to ask me the questions. I want to give them the answers and the correct answer. And plus, if they know to go to Truvy.com, they liable just to go over there and make a purchase without even you knowing it. And then it ends up getting orphaned to someone else maybe, and you lose that sale. So I think it's very important that we don't put the product on the page, on the Facebook page. We really need to keep it to a minimal as far as the product goes, and then try to do all the main information, you know, on Messenger behind the scenes. The bonuses were great. You know, I promoted right through to 1 star and got $500 in bonuses in 6 weeks. So that was great. I try to be a friend to everybody. I try to friend several people a day. My problem was on Facebook is that I already had 5,000 friends. So, so what I had to do was I had to go through and actually look and see who's been active on my Facebook page. And if they hadn't been active with me on Facebook, and there's a program that actually does that, that hadn't been active with me for the last 4 or 5 months, I was able to get them deleted off my page and start adding new people. Because these algorithms that are on Facebook, it's important that we have people to comment on our posts, and then it is important that we get it in front of new faces. If your same post goes before the same 50 or 60 people every day, then those people are going to get tired of seeing you. Those people are going to get tired of just that being shown to them. And with that being said, still be yourself on your Facebook page. Still post things about your family. Still post events that you're going to, or pictures, or timeline events from last year, or Christmas tree post. And, you know, keep being yourself, but every once in a while, throw in one of those other posts. Go on other people's Facebook pages, your friends. click on their pages, see something. Everybody's putting pictures of Christmas trees on there now. Get on there and post how beautiful their Christmas tree is. But that just moves you up in the algorithms to where you can get in front of people that you hadn't been getting in front of before. To get some action on your page. I know it's been a crazy year with COVID and the election and all that. I put a post on my Facebook page. Who's going to be the next president of the United States? And it blew up with like 200 comments. The one they all said didn't win. I still can't figure that one out. But anyway, that put me up in their post, and the things that I posted after that came up in their timeline. So I was reaching more people that way. And that's just how Facebook operates, is what I've learned. There's one question I'm probably going to drop tomorrow, and it's going to be about the vaccine. Are you going to take the COVID-19 vaccine? And I'm sure I'll probably have 100 or 200 responses to that. And when you do, go back and respond to them. No, I'm not going to. Well, why not? Why are you not going to take it? Or, yeah, I'm going to take it. Well, why have you decided to take it? And, and all that just gets your post out in front of people, and it works on your business too. For when you post that attraction marketing post, they're going to see that you're losing weight. You've got great energy. You've doing all these things, and they're going to start wondering what you're doing. And people that are friends with you, and that you see every once in a while, they may not even post. They're going to come directly to you. I was able to preach a message in Crossville, Tennessee this past Sunday night. We were headed to a leadership conference in Nashville, and I stopped in there. They asked me to speak, and I did. And I had 3 of his members come up to me and say, "Hey, what are you doing? I see your post on Facebook. I want to know about this stuff." And I'm like, "I'll send it to you on your Facebook Messenger." And I gave them my card, and I said, "Look, you can check this out." So it's been a great journey thus far. It all started back in the spring. Like I said, I did get COVID-19. It really hit me hard, to the point that I asked the doctor if I was going to live, and she told me that she couldn't tell me that. And my blood pressure was very high. Now, this was from the COVID. My heart rate was over 150. My fever was 104 for 8 days. My oxygen level dropped down to the low 80s. And I was begging God every day to give me one more day. And I know that I've got family, and I'm sure that if you are Christians tonight, you'll know what I'm speaking of. We all want to go to heaven, but we're not sure if we want to go on the next trip or not. We're not sure if we want to leave tonight, because we do have children that we want to see get married. We want to see them be successful. We want to see them, we want to see our grandbabies, future grandbabies, great grandbabies, whatever it may be. And I basically prayed to God. I said, "Lord, if you want me, then I'm ready and I'll go. But I just feel like I need to stay for my church, for my wife and my family." And as I got down to serious prayer with God, he told me to get up and walk. And I've got IVs in both arms. I can't hardly breathe. I can't do anything. As soon as I stand up and start to walk, I can only move a few steps at a time because I couldn't get my breath. So very bad. It was very bad on me. My wife and daughter caught it as well. But my wife was short of breath for about a week. My daughter about 2 hours, and it was over. So I got the bad part of it. But God spoke to me, told me to walk. And 3 days later, everything was back down to normal where it usually was for me at that time. And, the nurses would run in when I'm walking. They're like, "Hey, we're going to have to sedate you. Your numbers are going crazy. You're going to have to lay down. We're probably going to have to send you to the larger hospital in town anyway, to put you on a vent very soon." And I'm like, "Look, it's going to be hard for you to vent me when I'm walking." And God told me to walk. And the amazing story out of that, when the nurse came in when I was being released that day, she said, I I assume you probably don't need a wheelchair for me to roll you down. I said, no, ma'am, I'm walking out. And I did. And that was a blessing. And then when I came home, I watched the news, and this was early in the disease. They didn't know what to really do for you other than try different antibiotics, feed you fluids, keep taking x-rays. I had double pneumonia. I had the whole works. And I was watching the news, and the newscaster actually asked the doctor that was on his news program, what do you recommend for the citizens of the United States to do that have COVID? He said, well, the first thing I would recommend them to do is to get up and walk and move. And I already had inside information. So, but I went and had my blood work done a little over 3 months ago. My triglycerides were like 370 something. Some of you probably seen my comparison numbers on my post that come right off of my chart. My triglycerides were 377, I believe. Now they're down to 166. That was a 3 month on the product. My heart rate usually ran around 90 to 95 resting. It's now at 67 resting. And when I go to sleep, my watch tells me it gets down to 60 sometimes, which is perfectly okay. My cholesterol came back into the normal levels, and it was out of whack. My blood pressure used to run 150 over 90, which is borderline high. And some people would say that it is high. My blood pressure now consistently runs 110 over 67. So a lot of great things has happened to me, my health wise. I went back to the doctors for the follow up. They wanted to do heart checkups and all that from the COVID. And they say I'm perfectly healthy, fully recovered, and no issues with my heart, no scarring on my lungs. Everything's perfect. It took me about 3 months to get back from April to July to get back to where I was feeling okay. But then from July on up to September, October is when the big transition started taking place, when I began to use these products. And just sharing it with people, sharing my story with people of how the products have helped me. It even took away my carpal tunnel syndrome. I had it really bad in both hands. My hands stayed swollen all the time. 2 days later, it was gone. It's not a miracle pill of any sort. You got to work with it, of course, like I said, with the protein and the water, and cut back on those carbs some. But it's been a success for me on both ends, and I thank God for that. But the main thing is being consistent on the business side, and follow up with people, because sometimes I reach out 3 or 4 or 5 times. I keep a log that I have. Matter of fact, I have it right here that's open on my desk. And I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. But I can send anybody that would like to use it. It's just a customer log that my wife actually put together for me and had them printed out. It's got their name, initial inquiry date, the date that I sent them a message. I invited them to the True Craze page. I sent them a follow-up with a sample pack message, first purchase, when they purchased, what they purchased, and I have a place down below for actual notes and dates as well. So I firmly believe that you get out of this business what you put into it. Just so happened I had the time and the opportunity, and I was just talking to Catherine earlier. I said, I'm just hoping and praying that I have time to continue to do this when everything gets opened back up. And she was real encouraging, and informed me that, there's just a balance there that you have to figure out. And when you figure out that balance, then you just keep rolling with it. And I do believe that. So that's about my story. But I'll be glad to answer any questions, or if you want to have some Q&A time, that would be great.
So does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask Todd, or?
I do. Todd,
Sure.
do you go through, like, do you have a list that you work through? Do you do cold calls, or is it all just Facebook?
It's mainly all Facebook, but it's funny that you mentioned cold calls. Here are my cold cases right here. It's got cold right there. In other words, I've reached out to them time after time after time. I haven't gotten any response from them. They went in that stack. I've got another stack that I'm doing follow-ups on, and I've got another stack of people that have purchased, and this was like last month. So that's what I keep doing. I have found out that working through other social media sites has not been real effective for me for whatever reason. And I do believe it is a type of business that you have to find your niche. You have to find what works for you, because what works for me may not work for you. I believe it was Randy Christopher that said that he always started out with the sample packs. And then, after they found out that they had great success in a week, they would come back and they would purchase and become a monthly subscription customer. I found out that doesn't work great for me. It just seems like people'd rather, when they find out the value of the month supply over the weekly supply, then they decide, well, it'd be kind of crazy not to try the month. And really, that's what we want, because they can really see some great progress in the 30 days. So basically, it's just been word of mouth. I've had people to call me where customers have referred me to them. Word of mouth, and I've asked for recommendations. And I've tried to do something for those customers that send me customers that buy, whether send them a nice card, a letter, a gift card. I gave one lady at church, she put me on to like 3 people that she worked with, and I gave her some product. I had some extra product, so I just gave her the product. I said, look, you've earned this. You've helped me out, and so that's basically it. It's pretty much, as far as computer social media goes, Facebook is basically it for me.
Okay, good. Anybody else have questions?
Do you reach out to like strangers on Facebook, or do you wait till they contact you?
I put the post out there.
Yeah.
And when they respond, if they just say, wow, that's great, that's kind of telling me they're a little bit interested. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I'll go and respond on that Facebook page. Hey, thanks for your encouragement. These supplements that I'm taking are the real deal, and they really do work for me, and they're affordable, and I'm full of energy. And then it happened yesterday. The customer said that. I replied with that similar post, and they come back and said, hey, can you give me more information on that? And I had no idea who this person was. No idea. We had just been befriended on Facebook. However, if they're friends on my Facebook, really doesn't necessarily mean that I know them at this point. I've met so many people down through the years preaching in other places and getting to know people. A lot of people know me and I don't even know them, actually. That makes sense. But I'm not scared or ashamed to reach out to people that I don't know. And like I say, if someone with common interest, and mainly a lot of other pastors and church workers and stuff like that, will reach out to me and try to befriend me, and I'll befriend some of them just because we're in the same, field. I don't hardly turn down any friend request unless you look at it and you know that it's bogus, it's fake, or it's somewhere from the wild blue yonder, of which you wouldn't want to really mess with because, the hacking and all that kind of stuff. So I'm careful about that. But they don't necessarily have to be acquaintances for me to reach out to them. But I wait for them to come to me, basically.
Todd, when you're doing your posts, how much, if you're doing, say, 3 posts a day, of those 3, how much are I lost this much weight, I feel great, versus here's my Christmas tree, here's my dog? Because I'm always concerned about whether or not people will start to just disregard your posts because you are constantly spamming them.
Yeah. Well, basically, and I'm sure that does happen. So one way to remedy that, I think, would be to make your post interesting. I've made some videos. There's one video I sound just like a car salesman. I don't know how I've done that right off the cuff with no note, no anything. And people respond to that when I, especially on Saturdays, when when people may be off doing whatever they're doing, and maybe there's not a lot of business going on that day, or if it's been a slow week, I'll pull that out because it evolves around football and game day and stuff like that. And I began talking like, hey, this is a game changer. You got to try this product, and and it's only a couple of minutes long, if that. But we have to keep those posts concise. We have to keep them small and short. I have learned that shorter is better. I guess the longest post that I've given is where I put the COVID pictures up there, what I look like in the hospital and what I look like when I started the product and then after. And I just kind of told my story. So that's kind of interesting. And it got a whole lot of attention the first couple of times that I put that up. But after that, it just kind of went cold. But if you'll keep things interesting, keep things funny on your post, and if you're only posting about the business a couple of 3 times a day, it's not going to feel real spammy to people, because you're going to have maybe 5 or 6 other things that go out. But again, that goes back to just your natural post that you will put out. I may post scripture, I may post something funny. Yesterday I made this post, it got a lot of attention. I said, I can't believe it, there's a monkey in my office. And there really was a monkey in my office. I came back a few minutes later, I made another post with the pictures of the monkey sitting on my desk. And my sister has a monkey. They were visiting. And I said, hey, this will make a great post. People will love that monkey. And they gave that monkey all kind of love. And it's a little marmoset monkey, and very tiny. And so, and we have our live videos from church that go on our website as well. And a lot of people watch those. And so that's one thing that I try to be more conscious of now, is trying not to be too spammy. And I believe it shows that you're desperate when you're really not, although you're excited because you had, I think the most sales I've had in a day was like 8, which I got blown away. Catherine told me today she had 15, but I think I had 8 or 9 was my highest. And then if you go through a period that's slow, you're like, well, maybe I need to push some more stuff out there. Well, that's not necessarily so. And I'm slowly learning that, because people may think that it is spammy, and you're exactly right. We don't want to come off as spammy. We don't want to come off as, he only sells this stuff. No, I want people to have some good things on there as well. And really, when I make a post about, I made a post on this water bottle about how much water I'm drinking. That goes directly to the business. It's a business type post, but it doesn't look like I'm selling anything. I'm like, my post showed this bottle, and it said, I really didn't realize, and I didn't until this week, I really wasn't getting enough water in. And you try drinking a gallon of water a day. That was tough for me the first 2 days, but the last 2 days, it's been a breeze. I've had no problem with it. And, I'll post pictures of my breakfast. This is what's for breakfast today. This is what's for lunch today. And maybe just put the 2 capsules there on the plate where people will see that, that's part of my regimen. And they love seeing stories and pictures about you. It's good to share other stories. Laura has some great stories. Catherine, Tanya, they've all got great stories that we take up and adopt and share. And but people really respond to you because it's your site. They know you're a real person. They know it's your Facebook page, and that's what they tend to respond to the most.
That's all great information. Anybody else? Anybody?
I just want to say thank you for sharing your story, and I'm glad you survived this horrible virus.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We had prayers coming in across the world. That I done a live post after I got home, about 20 minutes long in April, and when I got home from the hospital, that really helped a lot of people, gave hope to a lot of people, and a lot of people began to follow my story. So, with all of this coming on the tail end of that, might have been a plus that kind of pushed me over the top. It's just kind of hard to tell. I know I was talking with Catherine earlier today. She's like between a 2 and a 3 star. She made a 1 star in 30 days, made it in like 6 weeks. And she's pushing 3 star, and had 11 sales today, and I haven't had any, but it happens like that. It happens, and you have to accept that and go from that. But if you see the post that Catherine puts out there and you're like, my goodness, who is this? She's always funny. She's always doing something to get your attention. Than the Monday morning wake-up call we had, she had those floppy ears going up and down on her head, just being funny. And then there's some serious times when she gets on there and she's weeping and she's crying. So, you just have to be creative if you're going to do the business. And like I said, the first thing to do is get that product education in you, learn that back office, and then try to learn all you can from events just like this tonight. If we can get everybody educated, I'm waiting for the new app. I qualified for that free app. Did you, Laura? Did you
No.
qualify for that? Oh, no. Man. But I qualified for an automatic get to do that. So I'm waiting on that. That's just going to be a new tool that I'm going to be able to try to see exactly how that works for me as far as the business building side goes. And I'm still learning, guys. I don't know a whole lot other than what I've told you. But I enjoy telling my story. I've told it to a bunch of groups, and I'm honored to be here tonight, honored that you would have faith in me to just come and share a little bit about this, because it is exciting, and it is a product that works, and it is a product that works with you, and you work with it. You have to, they walk hand in hand. And, the Bible tells me to occupy till he comes. And if I'm going to occupy and do what I'm supposed to do here, I need to be healthy. And plus, I feel great. I haven't felt this great in a long time. And I just turned 49 years old, and I'm feeling really good. So
That's awesome. Okay, any other questions for Todd? If not, I've got a couple announcements to make. Did everybody see the dates for the Truvy Summit for 2021? That it will be July 15th through the 17th, and the location's not been disclosed. So don't overanalyze the picture and try to figure out where it is and get airline tickets real quick, because it might not be that place. So I don't know. Corporate probably won't announce it until sometime in January, but July 15th through the 17th. So you want to mark those dates out. And I posted on the team page the December hours for customer service. So make sure you save that in case you have a need to get a hold of them right away. And that's all I have. Sherry or Sheila, do you have anything to add?
I'm excited about the Hawaii trip.
Yeah. Are you going? Did you qualify?
I qualified. Yeah.
Hot dog. That's awesome.
Now I'm trying to qualify for that airfare credit.
Yeah.
I got a lot of catching up to do, though, if I do that. But,
that is awesome.
Actually, the month started off great, and last week was great. The week before that was great. this week's just been kind of slow for our whole team. So I'm not sure.
Mhm.
I think it's maybe the calm before the storm. I believe people are going to make a lot of money come Christmas and after. I really do. Because
Well,
people are watching you.
I was excited for 7 new customers last week.
Yeah. Yeah. You just
Yeah.
got to be consistent, because see, if you quit posting, people will think, well, it must have been just a fad thing. They must not be doing it anymore. Or it must not be working for them. But if they see it every day, but not
Mhm.
being spammy, like the other gentleman said, they see it, it still stays in their mind. And if they're looking for the help, then we can surely offer it to them. That's for sure.
And you've got to be real. You've got to be real, raw,
Yep.
and honest. I mean, you can't always look picture perfect, because not everybody's picture perfect every day.
Exactly.
So take a picture with your hair all screwed up, and maybe your shirt or your blouse isn't ironed that day. That's life. Life happens. And they
Sheila's
need
never
to
gonna-
associate with that.
Yeah. Be real.
Like I had a picture the other day, and my grandson said, "Grammy, what's the matter with your hair?" But that, you're out for a walk and the wind's blowing, and Sheila's 1,200 miles away from me. Can't
Sheila's
do
never
my
going
hair.
anywhere with her hair messed up or taking a picture that way. I can tell you that. The one challenge I feel like I have is I did the other company for so long that people don't know. If I don't use the name, they think I'm still trying to sell
Mhm.
the other product. And I get that a lot. And it's not working for them anymore, or it doesn't work for a lot of people anymore. And so I get dismissed because I haven't said the name of what I'm doing now too much.
Mhm.
So that's one of my challenges, is I don't really know how to. I even have one of the ambassadors from the other company. She kind of called me out, and I was like, well, now that you brought that up, I'm not doing that company anymore, and blah, blah, blah. But, I really don't know how to make that transition and make it obvious without just saying the name.
Was it Plexus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
What I've
6
seen.
years. I did it for 6 years. And, so people think that's what I'm still doing.
Do you know Dave Brown's story about Plexus?
Yeah. Well, sort of. I mean, I know probably the highlight version, but yeah.
Okay. Well, basically, he was the original formulator of Plexus. They wanted to go in and change the formula to add more preservatives and to change up or make it more consistent in its taste. And Dave was like, no, we don't need to change the formula. It's doing great the way it is. Every batch is not going to taste exactly the same because we make it in small batches, but we can get it close. Fresh ingredients, things like that. And so, Dave Brown was one of, I believe, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, the original founders of Truvy. Right. And basically, a lot of people started complaining about Plexus not working anymore after that. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what Dave Brown told them. We're not going to have an effective product if you do this. And that's sort of what happened to him. And I've had people to come to me that have been selling other stuff as well, and asking about the business. But one post that I've seen, of course, I didn't have that problem because I've never done this before in my life, and I'm just learning on the fly. I've learned to listen, and a lot of times more than I talk. You wouldn't know that tonight, but I try to listen and hear what other people are saying and what other people are doing. But I've seen some of the ladies say, they've got their True Fix drink in their hand, and they're like, the original pink drink, the original pink drink. I don't know if that would be something. I'm sure that you could probably reach out on one of the pages and try to get in contact with someone that is faced the same situations that you have. I know I've seen, let me see, what is her name? Crystal Plemons. I know I've seen her. Crystal Buckner Plemons. She's in my upline. I think she's like a 2 or 3 star. She actually has done a post and a lot of posts with the pink drink. She may be one that you could reach out to try to see how you would come out of that little funk, I guess you could call it,
Mhm.
because I could see where that would be
It is.
a
It is a
challenge.
problem because I mean, plexus, you know, and I mean, if you're so sold on the business and and then you make a change, people are like, you know, I don't know. It's just, I'm finding I think that's a problem, but it's just difficult to get through that. So
Mhm.
And I believe
without
Plexus,
just saying it, I don't do plexus anymore. I do what works now. So, you know, I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know.
Plexus, they had membership fees too, didn't they?
Yeah. Every
Yes.
year you have to pay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you could put up something like these are, you know, these new supplements are great. There's no membership fees. You get 20% off.
Hmm.
You
You,
know,
Todd, do you recommend, how do you fit the product that you recommend to the person as far as Truvy or TrueFix, True Control, or
right.
how do you, because I find that challenging too.
Well, I recommend the Truvy to everybody, and unless we get to really talking deeply about their health. And I try to open that door, but some people don't want to share everything with you. If you think that if a person asks and says they have a problem with caffeine, I'm probably not going to go and put them on the Truvy first. I'm probably going to back them down to the milder formula, which is the TrueFix True Control, which is still effective. And it does great. I'm on the rotation now, and I'm seeing good results with the TrueFix True Control. And I've lost 4 pounds since Sunday just doing the TrueFix True Control. And I was at like a little plateau, but when I changed the product up, it, you know, put it in overdrive again. You know, if people are having if they have prior heart issues or heart rate issues or stuff like that, I usually go with the milder formula. If they take a lot of medications, I'll use the milder formula. But if people come in and they're like, hey, I'm healthy, I just need to lose 80 pounds, you know, and I need more energy. If they keep telling me they need more energy and they need to lose weight, I go straight to the Truvy, and I recommend that. And if they, you know, is there more? They keep asking questions, and sometimes I bump them up to the belly blaster, the must-haves, where they'll get the heart and hydration and the renew too, because I believe that does start to clean out your gut better and begin to build on that. I haven't tried any of the snacks. I've sold snacks. I haven't tried any of the eye cream, but I think I had a gentleman to actually buy some eye cream last week, and just to add to what he was doing, and he was with another company. I'm trying to think of the name. It starts with a V. I can't remember the name of the company, but they sold healthcare products, diet products, makeup, and all that. And he sold mainly the diet product end. And so he's doing that transition, but he's not really put it out there yet. He's trying the products. He's been real successful, and people are starting to ask him questions. So I'm trying to bring him about and tag him into all these great videos to where he can learn what he needs to learn, because men can sell this stuff. I mean, I'm a proven fact of that. But you got to be real. And like I say, if you can, you know, relate the particular products with the people's particular issues, then that's what I try to do. If they don't tell me a whole lot, I try to go with the Truvy, you know, just straight out of the box. So that's kind of what I listen for. If they say, well, I'm highly sensitive to caffeine, I'm not supposed to have much caffeine, I'm not supposed to have much, I'll usually go with the milder formula. Because the Truvy's got a little extra pop in it. It does.
Yeah, it does for sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? No. Well, Todd, thank you so very much. I
You're
really
welcome.
enjoyed this and appreciate you sharing things from your perspective, what's worked for you. And to
Sure.
know we're not a cookie cutter. Everybody's different. They're going to
Exactly.
have different results and different stories to tell. and it's just to be real.
Can I leave you with one other thing?
Sure.
Do y'all have pen and paper handy?
Yep.
I found a study just a few weeks ago that gave me optimal times to post on Facebook. In other words, they were giving me the times that there's more people active on Facebook on particular days. And I'll tell you which one's the highest when I get to it. But
Okay.
for Monday, the highest traffic times are between 8 and 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. On Tuesdays, 10 a.m. and 1 to 2 p.m. Believe it or not, your highest traffic days on Facebook, where more people are on Facebook, is on Wednesdays. 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 1 to 2 p.m. Those are your highest traffic times. Thursdays, pretty big size range here from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Fridays are 9 to 11 a.m. Saturdays, 9 to 10 a.m. If you notice, the window's getting smaller. That's not saying you can't do a post in the evenings, because it's good to do one in the evenings. But I just found this, and when I found it, it seemed like it did help. I started posting in between these times. And on Sunday, between 9 and 2 p.m. and 3 to 5 p.m. So really 9 in the morning to 5 p.m. on Sundays is a great time. But the highest traffic you'll see is on Wednesdays, which would make sense of why most of my sales come on Thursday.
Interesting.
Yep. So I thought that was interesting. I've got a chart on it too, but I just wrote it down for meetings like this to try to help you guys out. You know, hey, try posting during some of these prime times. It may make a difference for you. It may not. I believe it did for me. And of course, I don't stick with it religiously, because I'm assuming probably different times of the year, these times may change. But I thought it was a pretty cool graphic.
Todd, do you know if that is 2020 numbers?
Yes.
Just because 2020 is a whole lot different year for people than
Yes.
2019 presumably would have been.
Yeah, that was I believe it was dated it was back in the fall, and it was like October, something like that is when they printed this report. So
thank you.
They take it like for the entire year or a year's span, and then they compile all the numbers and they say, this is the most these are the times where you have most of the traffic on Facebook. So that's, you know, when I seen that, I was like, well, hey, that's when I need to be posting, of course, you know, is when there's more traffic on there. And that's what I've tried to do. And it did seem to help with me, especially during the slow times when it got a little slow. And it does that. The thing is, you can't get discouraged. You have to continue to post a couple of times a day and, you know, believe in yourself, believe in the product, believe that you can do this, and it all works out. And you know, I began to question it after a while a little bit, because you know, well, hey, I was expecting to sell 80 or 90 customers a month. Well, that was very unusual. I think I led the company in sales that month, and I was brand new, and so whatever I'd done worked. But you have to pretty much evolve yourself, because you can't run the same post out there. You can't always do the same times, because you may be busy or doing something else, because there is life outside of Truvy, of course. And, you know, so you just have to, the cookie cutter illustration that Laura done was excellent. You have to find your niche, what works for you and what works for your Facebook people that you're friends with. And I'm not saying that you can't take this formula. Now, Tanya gives that formula. Tanya Evans gives that formula, you know, the post engagements 2 a day, and they need to be 3 different kinds of posts that you can make, which is simple attraction. Oh, I can't believe my pants fell down, you know, or I can't believe my wedding ring is feeling so loose. That's attraction marketing. I can't believe I've got all this energy. That's attraction marketing. But then she says, do an income post. That's one thing I do not do. And I'd probably be further along if I did. I'm not sure that I'm still learning how to do an income post. You know, it would be simple for me to say, hey, who's wanting to make extra $600 for the holidays? You know, and I believe that was one of the posts that she recommended putting out there. I just haven't done that yet. I think it's easier for me, and it's in my niche, to get them on the product first and let them know the product, and then try to, you know, if they're having great success with it, then try to push them in the direction of, hey, you know, you could get your supplements for free. Now, saying that, when someone tells me they can't afford the product and they don't think they could do it, I also let them know, hey, if you buy the 5 for 5 or the share pack, you get the month of Truvy, and you get 5 share packs that you can just sell to people. I have people all the time ask me, do I have any on hand? Do I have any trial packs on hand? Yeah, I do. How much are they? They're $30. Well, you buy the share pack, which is the box of a month's supply of Truvy and the 5 share packs, all of it is the same product. If you sell those 5 trial packs for $30, you've paid for your whole month's supply.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I encourage new customers to do as well. And when they say they can't afford it, or people that are coming into the business, I encourage them to do the 5 for 5, or that's what I call it, 5 by 5 or whatever, but they call it the share pack. And because you sell those 5 sample packs, and you can do it easily with a post. Hey, I've got sample packs, free shipping. And then I'll say, I've got some on hand for those that are local. I'll meet you. And that gives me a time to meet them, gives me time to make the sale, and hopefully they'll come back and purchase a month's supply. And while I've sold those 5 sample packs, my month's supply is paid for. I haven't had to pay for a product during any month. It's all been paid for.
Yeah.
So that's a good tip too.
Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
As far as the time posting, do you feel that's specific to your time zone, or is it based off of Eastern time, or?
You know, it did not actually say on the graphic that I saw. So I'm assuming that it's probably the same for everyone's time zone. Don't quote me on that, because it did not tell me that information, if it was Eastern Standard or Mountain or Pacific or whatever. So that I do not know.
Are you kind of to the east?
Yes, I'm in Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Yeah. It is actually 9:02 here in
There
South
you
Carolina.
go.
So where are you at?
We're from Alaska. Right now I'm down in Oregon with my daughter, but so it's 6 o'clock where I'm at, 5 o'clock where Greg's at.
Oh, okay. Right.
That kind of makes a big difference though, from 5 to 9. That's why so we probably push it back a little.
Yes.
I was kind of wondering about the same thing too, because
Yeah.
the reality of it is most of our friends and family and sphere of influence is in central time zone in Minnesota. And so I'm looking at this, that if it's 8 to 10 a.m. on Monday through Monday, you know, I need to be up by 5 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the morning in order to post when they would see it at those peaker times. So I'm going to need the more caffeine version in order to pull this off.
Yeah.
Well, there
I-
there are
I-
social media platforms that you can
Right.
join. Canva is one of them that will you can schedule your posts. And so they would post for you. You don't actually have to be up at 5 a.m. You can schedule it, make the post in Canva, and you can have a social networking calendar, and you just feed your posts in there. And I used one all the time with Plexus, and I don't know why I can't remember the name of it. It's been driving me crazy all week long, but it was awesome. I can't remember the name of it.
It
I
was
know Sherry,
Buffer.
Buffer.
We used Buffer.
Buffer was another great one. Buffer, and it was free. And you
Yeah.
can load your posts on there, and it will automatically post to Instagram, Facebook, whatever you link it to.
Mhm.
And Buffer is an awesome,
And
awesome.
you could preload, I think it was like 10 to 15 posts.
Yeah.
Ahead of time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was pretty awesome.
Buffer was very powerful. I loved it. I loved it.
I know that Sherry has used Canva in the past. I'm a 55-year-old man, and so I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning anyway, so it's no big deal.
Okay. There you go. You could probably do a messy hair post at 5 a.m. I know I could.
Not a problem.
I don't know if those were time zone sensitive or if it's for everybody's time zone, or I'm assuming that it would be for each individual's time zone. But like you say, if you're on the West Coast and you got people, most of your Facebook friends are in Central or Eastern,
Yeah.
then you would do that. So
That would be a
but
challenge.
it's just something that I tried, and it seemed to have helped a little bit. And I've got a whole little graphic of it saved and stored up somewhere. Maybe I can send that over to Laura and she can
Okay,
share it with you guys.
sure.
But I was thinking as you guys were talking that would actually be a really good post to say, post what time it is when you're reading this post.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
time zone you're
To
in.
figure out
Yeah.
when those people are actually reading your posts.
I actually just posted a clock and done that too. And
Well, there
people
you
are commenting on it, but I haven't calculated it up yet.
Fun.
Good.
And Todd, if you would share, would you mind sharing your scripts that you use with Laura, and then maybe she could share them with us?
Sure,
Sure. I have no problem with that.
Awesome.
Be glad to.
great.
I saw that calendar your wife made you that you said you would get a copy of us to us if we.
Yeah. Send me an email.
Okay.
I'll give you my short email. It's Todd Black, TODDBLACK
Okay.
at att.net.
Thank you.
And if anybody that wants those customer sheets that I use, just send me an email, and that way I can just turn around, reply it, and zip it right back to you.
Thank you.
No problem. Glad to help.
Okay, Sherry, are we gonna have people post their takeaways?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
we can
I
do
will
that.
provide, after you do the spinner, I'll provide the prize
Okay,
for
awesome.
tonight.
All right. Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome so much.
Yeah.
If anything I can do for any of you, just let me know. I'm glad to help.
Oh, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hope it
Yeah.
helps.
Thanks, Todd.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night.
Night.